Divorce Dad Diaries, day 215 and 216, and man, what a holiday that was. I sort of had a bit of a revelation when I came home. I've talked a bit about how I don't have a lot of friends here in Christchurch, but even though that is the case, I certainly have a lot of friends. The reality is that I saw someone new almost every day of the week, and yet there's still some people I didn't see, probably the most notable one being my brother who lives in Wanganui. I've just come back from that holiday feeling very loved and just have so much appreciation for all my friends, and I will 100% be doing that again. Probably not for a while. Now that I'm back from holiday, I do have to think about the next big thing on my list, which is moving house, which I'm supposed to be doing next week. Can that be next week's problem? I don't know. Today, I have to catch up on a few things. I was smart enough before I left on Sunday to get this house mostly clean, but there are still some things I need to get done today. The first and probably the most obvious is unpacking. Now, fortunately, I wore almost every single item of clothing I had, so it was just as easy as taking everything out and shoving it into the washing basket. Oh, I found my tripod too. I was looking for that this morning. But I managed to get through every single item of clothing except for my jeans, which I packed for the dairy farm. And, well, naturally, I didn't wear those because jeans were uncomfortable, so... Moving on. Now, I moved most of my items into my main suitcase, so the bag didn't really have a lot left over in it. First off, we actually have these 2 DVDs that I picked up from Martin while I was there, and we had a bit of spare time. There was a second-hand shop there. They were selling old DVDs for $5 a pop. I haven't seen either of these movies. I wanted to see them. And, of course, not every movie is available on streaming services. But the next item of note is my chocolates that I collected and I have forgotten to eat, so I'm going to eat those later this week. But then I also have this chicken seasoning that my dairy farm mate gave me. It's called Dirty Bird. He swears by it. Pretty keen to try this. We'll see how that goes. And to add to the pile of things that I'd bought and forgotten about, I also have this bottle of Coke Zero, so that's a score too. Guess I'll have that today. I also couldn't find my toothbrush last night, so I'm glad to glad to finally find that. I mean, it's in the most obvious location, right? But glad I can, catch up on my oral hygiene this morning. And then that's packing, done and dusted. But that's really just the first task on my list today. The next up is groceries. Just like last fortnight, I came home late on a Sunday and didn't want to do groceries, but I have to do groceries. I've got the kids coming over this week. I made a list and made sure to get all the essentials that I thought I might need this week. Hopefully I've grabbed everything, but I also have a tendency to need to do a midweek shop. Hopefully I've grabbed everything that I need to get me to that point. But I also made sure to grab some baking ingredients as well because I've got to do some baking too, but that can be another day's problem. And following groceries, we've got to do some laundry again this afternoon. I just, again, sorted it into the piles. 3 older kids, they do their own laundry, sorted them out, put their clothing in their rooms. Put away my youngest son's laundry and then set my laundry aside. Tried to get it done in time, wasn't quite fast enough. So it's about 7 p.m. And I've finally had a bit of time to relax. I still haven't done my laundry, my first morning break. I used that to do... Oh my god, I've already forgotten. Oh, unpack. I used it to unpack, yeah. Lunch break I did groceries. Afternoon break, worked on my laundry pile. It's just my stuff that's left. I got all the kids sorted. This is very typical of a Monday. Well, apart from maybe the grocery part. But being busy till late in the day is pretty normal on a Monday. But that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about because it was my birthday on Saturday. And we're not going to go a birthday without gifts, are we? So... when my historic wife turned up this evening with my daughter and, traded all the bits and pieces, they also brought me some gifts. First off, we've got choc fudge cookie bake. I didn't realise this was a thing, so I'm excited to try that. They know I like sweets, it's just the easy gift. Just give me some chocolate, I'll be happy. Of course, the best chocolate brand is Whittaker's. In this case, they got me the peanut caramel brittle. I love peanuts, I love caramel. I didn't know this was a flavour either, so I'm really excited to try this. And of course, they got me a card as well. Written in it from all 4 of them, which is very cute. My oldest daughter wrote up here, and then she helped my 4-year-old write down here. So you see it's a bit messy, but he did his best. He's 4 years old. My 6-year-old is still learning to write. She sounds everything out. I'm quite impressed with how she's done. And then my 10-year-old, soon to be 11-year-old boy, I don't know where he gets that handwriting from because that's about twice as good as mine, I would say. I write like this, so I don't know where he gets that from. But then we got to Tuesday, where I ended up spending my morning break taking the lunch out of the fridge that my oldest boy had forgotten. I wonder where he gets that kind of memory from. But took that down to the school, and then on my lunch break, I popped over to the bank to get out some money for their pocket money, which I hadn't done at the end of the month. We're halfway through the month already. I don't know how that happened. So made sure to pay that to the kids after school. So I'm just on my afternoon break, and man, I am sleepy. This is one of the downsides to working from home, is that it's really easy to get carried away and use your breaks to do not break stuff. But the day doesn't end here, because I've still got to cook dinner. Kids have productions this week, which I'll make a whole nother video about. And I've got to do some baking too. Again, I'll post that when it's done. But for now, I'll leave you here, and I will catch you on the flip side.